Hey, Astro Sleuth here, and I'm going to title this video, Will Some Even Have the Chance to Know what social normality feels like? Sorry, that was just my phone. But anyway, I'll continue this podcast. Some of us, myself included, we will never may even know what social normality feels like with our own peer age group. I've never had this, you know? I just have nothing at all, or never did have anything at all, in common with people of my age. Most people my age are either in serious relationships, focusing on their career, or married, or have kids, and even people in their 20s, they're all hooking up and getting laid, and it's like an alternate universe. They speak a language I simply do not speak. Um, And I think a lot of people, men and women, don't associate disability or people with disabilities with having their own personalities and wants and feelings and needs and desires. They don't personalize us. Our feelings aren't taken into account. We're mainly just wallflowers. We're mainly just objects. Um, they think they've met one, they've met them all. Uh, we are objects of pity, or they feign indifference to us in our eyes. And it's such a shame because everyone's different, of course, and we all have individual personalities just like anyone else does. And but add to the fact that we live in an insular culture to begin with. Cliques, I mean, people, uh, especially women, aren't willing to go that extra mile to get to know a person. Very insular, with pressures, of course, on the man always to make the first move. And if the man does make the first move, it has to be 50-50, of course. There's no guarantee of acceptance. You have to be accepted by that woman. I made the effort in the past and was shunned romantically. The old adage is you have to, yes, you have to give people a chance to get to know you, sure, but they have to be willing to take that chance. You see, it has to be 50-50. Again, in the dating sex relationship realm, especially, and in my experience, forget it. I think the fact that a lot of us in the incels or social outcasts are so out of the loop, too. Like I said earlier, and I'll say this again, we will never know heterosocial normality with our own peer age group. I see this among the young millennial staff at the mall I work at. Sure, I could put myself out there and introduce myself, but they have to meet me halfway, you see, like anything. you know. And I mentioned to my mom once, I'll relay a little story here. I mentioned to my mom once I was going to ask this chick who worked out for coffee, who worked at a grocery store I frequented. And my mom just said to me, and I quote, "Oh, don't do it. Oh, she'll just laugh." And she probably would have laughed at me, some guy asking her out in this day and age. It's not the era anymore where Harry showed up at Sally's doorstep with flowers and took her out for fish and chips, and 6 months later they were married. He got a job at the firm, and they lived happily ever after. We don't live in that time anymore, for better or worse. I knew where I stood. But then again, somebody has to start somewhere, right? What do? If she's gonna laugh at you, and it's implied that the girl is gonna laugh at you, so you don't try. You get to the point where you don't even try anymore because I admit, I know I shouldn't blame myself, but you do blame yourself. You feel unworthy, but you have to start somewhere, right? But we are shot down before we start at all, and shot down before we even begin. And then my mom just went on to say something about, in this day and age, women have to already know the man, which is true. I think women tend to be wary of strangers. Their creep radar is extremely high, even though the guy's intentions, or the guy himself, may not be a creep. From what I've observed and heard and seen, It's through social interaction and mutual friends that people meet for hookups or whatever. Most of it, anyway. You could correct me if I'm wrong on that. I hate the term league, but leagues, same with the rating system, but unfortunately they do exist, and 1 to 10. And traditionally attractive women tend to gravitate towards powerful, rich men or popular men. But I had a crush at a bank. I'm just getting over her now, like I said in other videos. But hell, maybe my crush is better off with a rich banker type like I saw in the bank that night. What the hell could I provide her, I have to look at it objectively and logically too. It may be just teenage style infatuation with her, teenage type infatuation rather. And he could probably give her and her daughter more than I could ever hope to give them. You know? Maybe leagues, I've been philosophizing about this too a lot. And like I say, maybe leagues do exist for a more spiritual deterministic reason to keep the universe in sync if it exists. Women are opportunistic. They want what men can provide for them, of course. And all I have to do is be happy for them, really. Like, same with my ex. My one girlfriend I had, she wanted a provider type, and I couldn't give her a middle class lifestyle. Uh, you know, Men want women. The old saying goes, and a colleague of mine in this community said, "Yeah, men want women, but women want what men can do for them." And it rings true. It rings so true. What can I really offer? I've been philosophizing about this a lot lately. You know. Um, I believe too, like I was a nerd. Nerds making all the money is partly a myth, or rather, moreover, socially awkward teens after high school making money is partly a myth. Um, I believe you have to be able to have some sort of type of social normality to manipulate social situations for any type of success, to fit in, basically. And basically, the same skill sets learned on the playground will serve a person later in life, and I can't manipulate. The game was over before it even begun. It was over in the schoolyard. Uh, that that phrase resides in my mind every day. She'll just laugh. It echoes. But I have to start somewhere. But then again, maybe my mom, she's being sensible here. She is a very sensible woman, all the same. Maybe she just doesn't want me to get hurt. Maybe she doesn't want me to get shot down, which I see it in retrospect now. Like, yeah, she would just laugh. Who the fuck am I to go in or to into a grocery store and randomly ask her to go out for coffee? She'll probably think I'm a creep, and I'm probably right. My mom's probably right. I was just going to ask her for out for a coffee sometime, but my mom may have been sadly looking out for my best interests, you know? And the whole relationship thing, too, as an incel. Like, what's the point of trying to jump through hoops with no guarantee, you know? And we will never know social normality, a lot of us. I don't know what it's like to hook up with women my own age every week and to go get shit faced. I can't drink due to medical reasons. Go get shit faced with my 20 something work colleagues that much. I don't know what it's like, you know? And I see this culture replayed again in the mall I work at. And I love the job. Don't get me wrong, I love the job. But in some ways, it feels like I'm in college again, being around all the millennials and seeing my crush a few times at the mall. I felt that way in college when I had a crush there and I couldn't concentrate on my studies and I was out of the loop. Everyone was again getting shit faced every weekend, and I went home alone, sober, back to my parents' house. I was living at home at the time, going to college in my hometown, and I basically, I don't know, I didn't have a social life at all. And I think incel can overlap to lack of success in with social friends and in the job market to an extent too. All right. So leave your thoughts and suggestions. That's another video for today. Astro Sleuth here, over and out.